Hey guys, we're going to take a little pause this week because a lot of you need to spend a little bit more time revising your analysis of a poem. So I've provided specific comments for everyone in response to the workshop. And I just want to make sure that everyone knows how to access these comments because I get the feeling that they don't get read. So when you land on our homepage, you'll see grades and you'll see if there's anything that's been graded, and you should click there and then click on the actual, not the assignment, but go to the comments and you'll be able to see exactly what I've said in response. So I just kind of simulated the comments that I found to be most common. So remember that with an analysis, you are writing an essay. So you should have an introductory paragraph, and that paragraph should assert a thesis statement. And the thesis statement needs to point to at least sort of 2 points of analysis that you're going to focus on in your essay. So if you're writing about imagery, let's say you're writing about imagery in mock orange, you might have one paragraph that focuses on the images of the flower itself, and then another paragraph that focuses on the images of the male body. And then kind of through a comparison of that imagery, you could have a conclusion that sort of explains then what is the significance of these images when we look at them together. And the introduction can give like a brief summary of the overall poem. It can tell a little bit about who the author is, but it needs to lead into a thesis that kind of sets up the structure of the body paragraphs. So you should have at least 4 paragraphs for this particular assignment. And I noticed that some of you had just like one giant paragraph or 2 really giant paragraphs. So really break it up and use that traditional essay form that I'm sure you learned in your English 101 and 102 classes. Also, you want to make sure that any language you're taking directly from the poem is quoted. I hope that you've seen by now my additional comments regarding this in the workshop forum. They state that you don't need to cite the line numbers because these poems are not very long. So if you are quoting a line, it's going to be very easy for a reader to find that line in the poem since the poem is short. If you've already included line numbers in parenthetical citations, that's fine. Just make sure that your parenthetical citations are at the end of the sentences with the cited material. Don't put them at the beginning of the quote or right after the quotation. With MLA, the citations always go at the end of the sentence. Again, proofreading and editing is very important. So if this is an area where you struggle, meaning this has been pointed out to you here in this workshop and also maybe with your paraphrase assignment, I do encourage you to get some additional help with this because with poetry especially, precision is key. So we can't just kind of have sloppy grammar and think that it's not going to make a difference. It does actually change what you're saying. So it's important to make sure that that is streamlined and edited for clarity. And again, I'm really happy to help you. So I'm going to be in my office tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can stop by, you can give me a call, you can send me an email. I know I said that this should be due tomorrow at 9 a.m., but I really think we need to, like I said at the beginning of this video response, that I think we need to kind of slow down a little bit so that you have a little more time to get this right, because we can't really move on to the next thing if we're not understanding how to do an analysis. All right, so a final note, as far as your essays go, make sure that you give the essay a specific title. Just calling the essay Mock Orange or The Panther isn't enough. The title needs to point to the type of analysis that you're doing as well as the poem that you're analyzing. And then as a final reminder regarding the forums themselves, especially the workshop forum, I mean, I've taken care to post a lot of, some detailed instructions here about how to respond to each other. So you should be doing that. And most of you are saying something positive, but a one sentence, yeah, your analysis is great, isn't really constructive feedback. It doesn't really help a student improve upon the draft that he or she has submitted. And this is why it's very important that as the writer, you post specific questions about your assignment. Don't just post it and go, am I doing this right? That's too vague, and it's hard for your classmates to respond to that. So make sure that you're following the instructions, make sure you're reading my comments and you're applying them to revision so that everyone can get good grades on their discussions and their major writing assignments. All right, so again, we're going to slow things down. I'm going to post with this video some new deadlines. So just take your time, get this revised, do a good job, call me, get additional help if you need it, and then we will move on from there. All right, good luck with revisions, everybody.